clear the searched mounds, while disaster officers move into voids and tight crevices. Garden Route Fire Chief Niels Barnard says police specialists have also been instrumental in getting into tight spaces to ensure a thorough search.
We did go right down to the basement, and we are going to clear the site from the back today. We hope that we can discover more bodies.
The Labour Department is expected back on site tomorrow for an update on their investigation. President Cyril Ramaphosa will also be here to meet survivors and offer support to the families still waiting to hear news of their loved ones. Natalie Malchas, Eyewitness News, George.
On the weather front, a fine Thursday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Joburg dropping to an overnight low of 10 degrees, peaking at 25. Pretoria 10 and 28. Vereeniging 9 and 25 as well. Lerato Hufela, Eyewitness News.
Eyewitness News on 947. For more, click ewn.co.za.
#MSW.
You may begin to feel anxious or excited.
Honest, deliberate, engaging, uncensored.
High dosage administration can cause adverse reactions.
And most importantly, independent in mind and execution.
This is a normal response. Are you ready?
Marawa Sports Worldwide.
I just love what's happening with Siangezana, because this is just a reminder that you should never, ever judge a book by its cover. At some point, I felt so terrible for him, given the criticism that he would get.
Siangezana, Romanian Liga winner. Which other team in the world do you know of that went 9 seasons without winning a league title or any trophy?
If it's not Kaizer Chiefs, I don't know.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Congratulations.
Yes.
That was our quiz question for today. You win yourself.
Thank you, sir.
You win yourself a special prize. You know what it is? You win yourself a trophy, man, with your current team, FCSB.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Talking about him inspiring future generations, and yet he's only 14. But that's the story of my guest, international counting athlete, Luviwe Sambutle. What would your ultimate aim be in terms of life post-schooling?
I don't see anything outside of motorsport. Even if I don't make, and that's like a big if, like not even a big if, like that's just not in the question. But Gurus, I can race like Formula E or IndyCar.
Yeah, I think the one thing you can Google there is IndyCar crashes, and they are spectacular.
And he's inspiring all the other ones to come through, and he wants to replace Lewis Hamilton on the Formula One grid at some point. That's what we're hoping for in the next 5 years. We're pushing very hard for that.
I love that.
Robert Marawa, live on 947. Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live. #MSW. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
Yeah, Wednesday night, soccer nights, and seeing that it is soccer nights, my goodness, have the debates begun or not?
The year was 2019. Liverpool finished on 97 points, one of the highest ever points totals in Premier League history. Only lost 1 game all season. Still, Man City won the league. 2022, last day of the season. Man City go 2 goals down with 20 minutes to go. The title's ours. But the thing about Man City is they've got lifeless eyes. Black eyes like a doll's eyes. When they come at you, you doesn't even know they're living till they bite you. And them black eyes roll over white. And then, they rip you to pieces. So you better hope you get close to 100 points if you want to get the better of them, Chief. And you're gonna need a more powerful weapon than Jorginho when they stare that beast in the eyes.
Doesn't that remind you of like a Michael Jackson Thriller song right at the end? That's exactly what it's going to turn out to be. It's going to turn out to be a thriller. Man, oh man, the Premier League title race, it is set to go down to the wire on the final day of the season this Sunday, with either Manchester City securing an unprecedented fourth consecutive league title or Arsenal ending their 20-year drought. It's been a long wait, man, for the championship. Their first since the legendary Invincibles team back in 2004. So I'm at 2000 and wondering, what on earth? We weren't there. What are they talking about? I mean, what a showdown this promises to bring. And yesterday's action, if you watched it, it was end-to-end for City. Tottenham Hotspur, my goodness, couldn't have been closer for them. It was thrilling stuff from beginning to end. Now, could Man City's second-choice goalkeeper, and that is why he was dubbed as the man of the match, Stefan Ortega, have won Man City the title? I mean, that late save from Heung-min Son, haunting the Arsenal fans for a very long time. Is that likely to happen? Now, City are just one win from the title after that 2-0 victory at Tottenham Hotspur, moving them 2 points clear of the Gunners with just one game to play. Now, nerve-wracking as it is, the weekend is going to be crazy. Where will City win? Where will they win it? Where will they lose it? And the Gunners of London, what do they need to do? Plenty of permutations, I can tell you. Let's get this debate going. We'll love your comments about it, so get involved as well. We're going to be heading off to Manchester. So Manchester City correspondent, no greater than an Ian Cheeseman to chat about this. Ian, good to be speaking to you tonight. What a night last night. I don't know what your reaction has been.
Well, that was the game. Good evening. That was the game that felt like it was the toughest of the remaining games. You can't take anything for granted, and as your introduction quite rightly pointed out, City were 2-0 down against Aston Villa on the last day of the season and eventually won it. So anything can happen. Villa that day didn't have anything to play for. West Ham on Sunday, in theory, won't have anything to play for. Maybe they'll play as a free spirit. Maybe they will come and try and spoil the party. But over the last few years, City's results against West Ham have been consistently very dominant. So the Tottenham game, where City hadn't won in the new stadium a Premier League game or even scored a goal before last night, seemed the toughest. Having overcome that, little bit of good fortune, great save by Stefan Ortega, it now feels like the hard work's done. But until the final whistle goes in the final game, you can't be sure, can you?
But was there a stage, though? Was there a stage, Ian, where there was a level of doubt going into the halftime break for you? Did you think somewhere, somehow, that Spurs will indeed throw it quite wide for Arsenal to step in?
If I'm being honest, and I certainly don't want to sound arrogant, but having watched Manchester City all my life, and particularly having watched every minute of every game since Pep Guardiola came, no, I felt very confident all the way through that game that City would win it. And even if Son had scored that goal, which Ortega brilliantly saved, I still believe that City would found a way of getting another goal and still winning that game. There is something about the belief, the togetherness, the teamwork ethic, the system that Pep Guardiola's created. Everything comes together. Every single player, it is just playing at the top of the game. And what makes City so magical is that it's not relying on any individual. I know Haaland gets a lot of credit for the goals that he scores, and he has scored some, statistically, some amazing number of goals. But this isn't about him. It's not about any one player. I mean, for half the season, they were out without Kevin De Bruyne, who I believe is City's best player. They were without Nathan Ake last night, who's been playing exceptional in defence. John Stones has got lots of plaudits for the way that he's played. But it doesn't seem to matter who comes and goes in this team because it's so well drilled, so well organised, and the talent is so evenly distributed. They'll find a way to score, get the winner, whatever it takes. And that, I think, is what makes them special. And that's why I still believe that they would have overcome Tottenham. Now, obviously, if Son had scored, there would have been an awful lot of time for City to get a second goal. They did get it anyway through the penalty. But I just believe that City would have found a way. And I believe on Sunday they'll find a way to beat West Ham, whatever it takes.
When you have a very unhappy number one choice goalkeeper coming off, and in the way that he had to come off, because initially it was thumbs up, he can carry on, and then all of a sudden there was a change with regards to that. Pep Guardiola handled it quite well at the press conference, and he said he just followed what the medical doctor was saying to him. Anything further that's developed as far as that story is concerned?
Not to my knowledge, but I think that's a fair analysis of what happened, and I think the right decision was come to, because if that, I'm not saying that a fit and healthy Ederson would have conceded that goal that Son potentially could have scored, but I think if he was still suffering from any sort of mild concussion or any, he was suffering any sort of pain, that little 5-10%, whatever it might have been, could have been the difference between him saving it and not. We've seen Ortega come on in several games actually this season when Ederson has suffered an injury. He's played in every FA Cup tie as well. He's played in the Champions League, and Ortega has impressed me in every game he's played. In fact, I don't think he's conceded a goal in the FA Cup all the way through to the final, and obviously didn't concede a goal when he came on at Spurs. He's an exceptional goalkeeper. He's described as the number 2, and in reality he is the number 2 because Ederson is the general first choice. But I think in anything but name, he's a number 1 at any other club, and he proved it last night in that exceptional save that he made. So I think Pep and his medical team made absolutely the right decision. You might remember that at Fulham at the weekend, City were 3-0 up and had a penalty, and because Josko, the fullback Gvardiol, had scored 2 goals, the crowd were chanting for Gvardiol to score the 3rd goal, which would have been his hat-trick, which doesn't happen very often from a fullback or a central defender. And the team made a professional decision to not allow got this player, Gvardiol, to take the kick, just a sentiment to let him have his hat-trick. They wanted to be as sure as they could that the goal would go in, because it could come down to goal difference on the last match of the season. So that gives you an indication of the professionalism within the club, and the professionalism was what made the decision for Ortega to come on, and it proved to be right, didn't it?
No, absolutely did. Man of the match performance in such a short period of time. It's the key moments that you encounter. It's the one-on-ones. I think the one that went through his legs, he managed somehow, after looking all over the place, found the ball. It was right there next to him. Recovered very, very well. Just his reading of the game, the ball distribution, coming off his line. He was doing everything the right way. And I suppose at the end, it was high fives, one would say, not visible, but they would have done that as a technical team to say, guys, you got it spot on. You got it right. We move on now. We forget about this game because we need to. I mean, you talk about Erling Haaland. All the interviews I saw, Ian, it was of a player who's been well drilled in terms of dealing with interviews, to be businesslike, not to be carried away by a victory where you're not winning anything. They want to reserve that for Sunday. How do you think he's handled himself overall from what you've heard?
Exceptionally. I mean, his father, of course, played for City, Alf Inge Haaland, so he is well embedded in the football culture, if you like, and knows how to handle himself. And City, as you say, very professional. I can't think of the last time that a City player didn't handle themselves in that perfect way. Before the game, there was a lot of talk from fans, Tottenham fans, saying that they wanted their own team to lose because they wanted to deny Arsenal the title. And in fact, I'm a YouTuber, as you probably know. Yep. And if you watch the YouTube video that I did yesterday, you will see a couple of Tottenham fans saying they wanted to lose the game. But you'll also see City fans celebrating as if they won the league last night after that game, because they knew how important it was. Well, that's not the reaction that you are seeing and you will get from within the club. They are ultra professional. The title has not been won. Haaland knows that the title has not been won. So whoever would be speaking about it after the game, because he scored 2 goals, it would be him. Pep Guardiola, it could have been Bernardo Silva, it could have been Phil Foden, it could have been it could have been Ortega, it could have been whoever the hero was, and that they put up in front of the media. I suspect they would have all spoken the way that Erling Haaland did, because they know it's not done. and things can go wrong. So there's one more game to go. After that, there's the FA Cup final. Potentially there's a double, but nobody's going to speak about that until it actually happens, if it happens.
Looking ahead now, what lies ahead? Paint a picture for us here, Ian. I mean, Man City has been your team all your life. You attend all the press conferences. You know the DNA of what happens in the engine room. We got a couple of days and then it's all over. Arsenal still believe that they can. Football believes that anything is possible. What do you believe, Ian?
Well, if I was an Arsenal player or manager, I'd be saying that it's still possible, of course, and they will go out against Everton and give their all. But in their heart of hearts, when the final whistle went at Spurs last night, they must have thought, that's it, it's gone. I suspect that even when they came off against Aston Villa, having lost that game at home the same weekend when Liverpool slips up as well, they also knew that the likelihood that City would slip in these last few games, given their track record during the last few years, meant it was very unlikely. And they probably felt when they came off that day against Aston Villa, they will have to say, and they will have to try to convince themselves, that it's still on, just in case City slip. But I think deep down, they know that the Premier League title will now stay in Manchester for an unprecedented 4 wins in a row. City know that as well, but they also are ultra professionals, and I'm sure they'll have had a day off today. Maybe they'll even have a day off tomorrow, because Pep is very much a believer in the players needing mental and physical breaks because of the intensity, the constant matches that they play. Obviously, most of the players in the City squad will go away with their international teams in the summer, so they won't get a break. He knows that players like Rodri, who hasn't lost a game for over a year, need that. And you could see in Rodri, his socks were down by his ankles and he looked tired at times. That he needs to pace them. So that's what they'll be doing now. They'll be relaxing. They'll be telling themselves all the time, it's not over yet. Complete the job on Sunday, and then you get all the glory. And that's where City will be at the moment. But I think deep down, in the heart of hearts, they won't admit it publicly, but Arsenal must believe that the title is gone.
Sure. Spot on analysis as always, Ian, because when you talk about Rodri, the socks are down, as we saw yesterday, also making one wayward pass that was so unlike him, but it happened, and that is the nature of football, is that the concentration, the nerves, it's about the big build-up to the weekend, all happens in one sweep. Now, I wanted to check with you whether it's okay if we can flood your YouTube channel, because I would love everybody to go towards it, watch it in the build-up. You got some incredible stuff there, including the fans, as you've mentioned. Ian Cheeseman, Forever Blue. Can we subscribe?
I'd love it if everybody subscribed. Obviously, I'm dependent on people watching and retweeting and sharing and watching the videos, because that's what keeps me going. So, I would encourage everybody and anybody. It's free to subscribe. It's free to watch. It won't cost you anything. Give it a watch and see what I do.
All right. So you currently sits on 26.5 subscribers. And I think up until the weekend, we're going to make sure, as South Africans, we boost that and we get to 30,000 subscribers. It's Ian Cheeseman, Forever Blue. We love your content. We follow your content. We love your input, as always, Ian. Thank you very, very much indeed. Maybe the next time I chat to you, you'll be champion.
Who knows? It's always a pleasure to speak to you. I love speaking to you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much indeed. That's Man City correspondent live from Manchester, Ian Cheeseman, joining us right here on #MSW. Where are you going to be in terms of this big debate that's about to happen? So after the break, we bring it back home. The conversations have started, the debates have started, football of the season, young player of the season, goalkeeper of the season, you name it. You want to be a part of it. I've got great experts lined up, but you are the biggest expert of them all. 060-708-0484, 060-708-0484. Otherwise, call us directly in studio, 011-8838-947.
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time. #MSW.
Hollywood Bets is offering you Flights of Fortune this May. Stand a chance to win your share of 1 million rand worth of bonus bets by betting 10 rand or more on Aviator. Enter the chat daily between 7 and 9 p.m. for a chance to reap those rewards. Bet now.
T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
We are expecting stage 15 today with only 10 minutes of power.
What? Only 10 minutes of power? You know the drill.
No power. No power.
Wake up. Wake up. You're having a nightmare again.
Blow the whistle on power cuts with the Beast Bundle and save up to 65% on your electricity bill. Subscribe to Solar now from only 1699 per month and only start paying in 2 months. Visit utility.energy for more.
Me, me, meow. Cats have attitude, right? And they know what's good for them. So feed their catitude with Pamper, full of the good things they need, packed with a flavor they love. And right now, when you buy any Pamper product, you can win one of 12 Pamper hampers filled with cat goodies and products featuring your cat's face. Just WhatsApp your till slip and a pic of your cat to 082 20 20 267. Cats just love Pamper. T's and C's apply.
Welcome to another episode of Hey Duck, Riddle Me This! Okay, Duck. 5 people share a house with 1 bathroom. A uses it before B, but after C. D uses it before E, but after B. Now tell me, what should they use to clean and disinfect the bathroom after all is said and done? Mac. That's right! Mac Thick Bleach and Cream Cleaner. Anything else is just wrong.
Are you blowing your paycheck on car insurance every month? Monica, 39 from 3 Rivers, pays just 1,515 Rand a month for her 2018 BMW 320i.
None of the insurance companies has come near to the price I'm paying. I am happy at insurance. I'm going nowhere.
SMS out to 30601 now for a quick quote that could save you hundreds every month. You'll also find out about included benefits like panic assistance and help it out 24-hour roadside assistance. Yusuf, 45 from Tegadal, pays just 700 Rand a month for his 2021 VW Polo.
Help it out. Took the family up to go and see the snow and I got stuck. The service was quick, even though it was in a very remote area. Absolutely phenomenal service from our insurance.
SMS out to 30601 now. That's out to 30601. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and limits apply. Premiums are risk profile dependent and reviewed annually. Client comments do not constitute financial advice.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Siyabonga Ngezane, Romanian Liga winner.
Being here, like in a foreign country and winning a title, like, first season, it's crazy.
Listen, there's a team, FCSP, that wants you from Romania. What went through your mind?
I was very excited with the opportunity. I came here, but nah, I come from it route from South Africa. I Kaizer Chiefs for so many years, not winning the title, and then coming back to the same thing. And these people were hungry to have the silverware now, Bafuni League. And then when I came here, I got so many messages, which is from the supporters because they knew, and then they say they want the title. It's been 9 years not having the title.
Started from the bottom, now we're here.
#MSW. #MSW. Wednesday nights, soccer nights, your nights.
Yeah, what do you think is going to happen over the weekend?
MSW, Robert Marawa and your overseas guest greet you with a good altar. Well, it's coming down to the wire. It's coming down to the wire. That's why we all love sport. It's unpredictable. The tension, we like tension, and the only thing we can do is wish them all the best of luck. But entertainment at its best. At its best. Well, Robert, you keep your show going. Yes, this is good. This is good. And Moiblay, can't wait for the weekend. Can't wait.
Oh, I'm sure that's what Mikel Arteta is saying. Hey, he's translating that Afrikaans into some good English there. Hey, sir, Moiblay.
Hi, Rob. Greetings to you and all the listeners.
This is Joel from Watville in Benoni. Yeah, just to comment on the title race in the English Premier League. It has been really entertaining and fantastic. And whoever is going to win the title, I just want to congratulate them. But yeah, big ups to Mikel Arteta for the wonderful job that he has done at Arsenal. He has really improved the team. Very unfortunate not to win it in the past 2 years. I mean, last year and even this year, the way it looks, I think the league has gone to Man City. The guy has really changed the team, and yeah, it's beautiful to watch the guys playing. I'm a Chelsea supporter, but I enjoy watching Arsenal the way they are playing. Thank you so much. Great show.
Truly appreciate that because, but you praising Mikel Arteta, I think the world does. I mean, here's a person who was given an opportunity by the man that is really leading the Premier League for the past, how many? Forever seasons, basically, is Pep Guardiola. I don't want to limit him because he's been given a good run by the man that's bowing out as well over the weekend, Jurgen Klopp. Led last season, was unable to see it over the line. Also led the season. Man City with that game in hand have been able to capitalize on it and then bounce back to the top. So it's just one more to go, but people believe that Arsenal will win it.
Hi, Brarop. On the Premier League, English Premier League, I still maintain Arsenal is winning this league. Arsenal is winning this EPL. It's been 20 years. The time has come for us to win it. On Sunday, West Ham is going to make everybody proud. West Ham is going to win it. It's going to win against Man City. Arsenal will win against Everton. I think it's a 3-0 against Everton. And then we are winning the league. As already planned, on the 20th, there's a trophy parade that's organized by Arsenal. So it's happening. Thanks, brother. Good show, as always.
A trophy parade to celebrate Arsenal winning. That's already planned. Where's this trophy parade going to be? Here, PlayStation or I don't know.
Marawa, good evening, my brother, and all the listeners. Manchester City are out of this world. But, on Sunday, I won't bet on them because, David Moyes, who is coaching West Ham, he knows English Premiership in and out. He might perform a miracle to make West Ham win. And now it will be up to Arsenal if they want to win the league. Moses Mukwena,
Oh, Moses Mukwena, also full of hope, man. We should ask Dr. Victor to come here and, sing for us the great song, Give Me Hope, Joanna. Looks like the Arsenal fans do have plenty of that. Why not? That's what football is about. Maybe I could come back on Monday, eat humble pie, and they say, oh, you said the trophy parade's going to be where? And Arsenal might be the champions. Who knows? That is football. But one thing that we have is a proper healthy discussion, and that's why I've decided to assemble a very strong panel here. You also are involved. Please send us your WhatsApp voice notes. I mean, as the curtain starts to fall on the 2023-2024 DSTV Premiership campaign that's happening in 2 weeks' time. Now, one of the greatest talking points in the Disky circles is certainly the Player of the Season candidate. And we're just starting to reflect on those who have done remarkably well this campaign and those who haven't. So we don't worry about those who haven't. We want to talk about those who have. Who will win what? And I don't know. Now, these experts will tell us why they think so. They'll also look back on the top performers and also the magic that came through this season. We've got everybody from Nick Said, who's a freelance football writer, somebody I respect a great deal, somebody that we depend upon as well a lot is Opta Jabu. You see him on social media. Opta Jabu, the sports data analyst. So would also join us. Mthokozisi Dube. Our next door neighbor here in Johannesburg comes through as FarPost editor. He's here with me in studio. Togo, let me start off with you. It's easier to monitor you here. I can see you face to face. We're not going to waste any time. Is there even a debate when it comes to the footballer of the season?
There shouldn't be a debate. Good evening, Rob, and good evening to the listeners.
I love that because it means you're confident about what you're about to tell me.
There shouldn't be a debate. I mean, it's just unfortunate sometimes we're a bit dishonest. If we're all honest, I think there shouldn't be a debate.
So who should it be and why? Let's end the debate so that we end the show. We tell Ian, we tell Opta Jabu that they can all go home Life is wonderful. The show will end 30 minutes early.
Yeah. Ronan Williams for me. Ronan Williams, I think he's been exceptional. I mean, when you look at the stats, I mean, in the DStv Premiership, 19 appearances, 14 clean sheets. 14 clean sheets. So it means he's only considered in 5 games.
Yeah.
You know? I think that's exceptional. But beyond that, I think you look at the role that he plays in Sundowns build-up play, it's phenomenal. You know, he's just miles ahead. So I wouldn't even compare him with other goalkeepers. I mean, goalkeeper of the season, I mean, it's not even a debate.
Yeah.
But the kind of contribution that he makes to the way that Sundowns plays, for me, we must also be comparing him with the infield players because he takes up that
part of it.
kind of role.
So part of the 11.
So for me, I think he's redefined goalkeeping. We just have to reward him.
Okay. I love that because we start off with fire. He says this is not a debate. We have also with us Nick Said, freelance football writer. Nick, thank you so much for your time. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rob.
Oh, I know we got a bit of feedback there, but hopefully it does disappear at some point. But I can hear you. Mthogo is here in studio. The beauty about this game, Nick, and again, great pleasure to have you, man. He says it's not a debate. It's one football player. Do you agree?
I do agree. I think we can all go home. Ronan Williams would certainly be my pick for the reasons that we've already stated. I think also the leadership that he shows at the back there, you know, marshalling a defence that has conceded just 9 times in 27 games. On for the record, as we know that Kaizer Chiefs currently holding a PSL of 11 goals conceded. I just think he's phenomenal, and the consistency in his performance, you know, he very rarely has a bad game. He just pitches up every single time and is excellent. And for me, he's also the pick.
Nick, and I think it's very fair in terms of highlighting that, because usually, and at times we've seen it happen in these awards, people like to then pigeonhole and say, no, don't worry about Ronan, he'll get goalkeeper of the season, almost like limiting him to just that category. It's important that we take it out of that and say goalkeepers are also footballers, and I think Mthokozisi broke it down quite well. Being part of the 11 makes him eligible to then go ahead and win the overall prize.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that you're quite right in what you say, that there is that temptation sometimes to say, okay, well, goalkeepers must get the goalkeeper prize and strikers must get strikers or attacking midfielders must get the player of the season. But it should be about the contribution that player has made to his team and to their winning effort, and I think none more than Ronan Williams this season. What has helped him slightly, I will say, is the rotation that Rulani Mokoena has made in the squad. So if you look, someone like Tebogo Mokoena, obviously before his injury, which was a massive blow to them, certainly for their Champions League aspirations, he's only played, I think, 17 times. Whereas Ronwin is 19 and likely to get more now. So, you know, in terms of players who played the most and impressed the most and put in the most performances, I think Ronwin 100%.
What do you think has changed about Ronwin in terms of just reimagining, redesigning his football? He was always a great goalkeeper. Even at SuperSport United he was, and that's why Sundowns went for him. But, you know, something has changed.
I spoke to him about this about 18 months ago or so. I think it's a maturity. It's that simple. I think he by his own admission, had to grow up a little bit, and he has done that. Perhaps the responsibility of the Bafana captaincy has leveled him a little bit. You're right, he's always had ability from when he made his debut back as a teenager. But I think mentally he's a lot stronger these days, a lot more focused, and that's definitely coming through in his performances.
Yeah, so what I'm going to ask you to do, Nick, and I think Opter as well, is when you're not chatting to me, I'm going to ask one of you to put yourselves on mute so that we don't get that ugly feedback that we are getting at the moment. But Nick said, you know, laying out his guns. We're going to get to more of the categories as well. We'll tap into that. Nick, I'm going to put you back on hold. So if you may just mute yourself. Let me bring Opta Jabu. Hey, man, with all the stats, sports data analyst coming through for us as well for the first time here on the show. Jabuza.
Hi, Rob. Good evening to you and the listeners and everyone in the studio as well.
Yeah, good to have you on, man. What kind of season have you had? Have you had enough time to even wrap your mind around who will be your choice?
It's been a very busy season, Rob, but because Sundowns won this league in the first half of the season, some of these decisions are a bit easier to make. But as the season comes to an end, you have to judge everyone by the entire campaign. So then you start getting other names that show up in the data and rear that at the top, and we have to consider them as well. So we have players from other unfancied teams maybe that you may want to put into the hat.
Bring us that detail, though. When you say that other names come into the data, then you start to bring in, unfancy teams, whether it's Polokwane City, whether it's Stellenbosch, etc. Bring us through. Let's say it's not Ronwen Williams, as the majority at the moment have said. So whichever one you go for, you're already outnumbered here, Jabza. But tell me what's the data saying?
I mean, at the end of the day, the data will give you many points to talk about. But right now, out of the other clubs, I would pick on Ikram Reyners to be one of the players to be considered for Footballer of the Year. He's played the second most minutes for Stellenbosch, so he's been a big part of that team that has now gone into second position and collected 50 points for the season. And we know he's part of the players that are considered for the Golden Boot at the moment, so he's been a top goal scorer and very important in that. But the one thing that sometimes the publicly available data doesn't show is how much he's also involved in building up play or having others brought into play for Stellenbosch. We know that Reyners has created 35 chances from open play this season, and that puts him third in the league among all types of midfielders and strikers that you're talking about. He's third for creating chances from open play for his other teammates. So that's the kind of involvement that he's had. He's the leader for touches in the opposition box, 160. No one else has more than 110 touches in the opposition box. So you're talking about a poacher and someone who's been keeping defenses busy, even if he doesn't score. He's also first in the league for shots taken, first in the league for shots on target. So we're really talking about a player who may go under the radar because he doesn't play for one of the big teams, but has been heavily involved in producing results, which we see now as well with Stellenbosch getting into Africa.
I think that's an important name to throw into the conversation here. But now bring in the analytical side of you, because you have the beauty of dealing with all of these stats. You know the numbers, you know who's done what and where and so on. And you do a brilliant job. I got to put it out there for you. Your presence on social media has made a big difference. It's given the league also credibility. It's given the local game credibility. But you're also an individual with an opinion. Who then do you say gets to be given the Footballer of the Season award?
Yes, I think I would lean a bit towards Ronwen Williams as well, because of the records that Sundowns are about to break. Nick mentioned that they're about to become the first team to concede less than 11 goals in a season. That's if they don't concede 2 or more in the last 3 games. So he's been a big part of that. And most importantly, he's played the most minutes for Sundowns as well. Even though he's been rested in the last couple of games, in the league at least, he's played the most for Sundowns. So he's the one common factor that's been at Sundowns since the beginning of the season until towards the end. Ronwen Williams has 14 clean sheets, again first in the league, and while Sundowns have conceded 9 goals, he's only been there for 6 of them. So 6 goals conceded in 1,700 minutes. That's not child's play.
Sure.
And I think Tor mentioned that he's also been involved in the play and the build-up. He's actually first for passing accuracy among all the goalkeepers in the league at 86%, something which you'd expect of a midfielder or someone up front. But this, we're talking about a goalkeeper who's making a few long passes as well, but you find that at least 9 out of 10 of them are accurate.
Sure. So Ronwen Williams getting another nod here. Don't go anywhere, gentlemen. Stay exactly where you are as we head into the break as well. Let's find out what Rolando Mkwena thinks about this topic.
I don't think we've seen the best of Lucas Ribeiro, even though I think he's a close contender for Football of the Season. I honestly think, in my opinion, as I said even before, it's Ronwen Williams, Lucas Ribeiro, Marcelo Allende, and Tebogo Mokoena. And then there must be, you have to commend the contribution of Maswangai and maybe Adams. But the reality is the level of Ronza, the level of Tepsa, the level of Marcelo Allende, when he comes on today, you can see. And the level of Lucas Ribeiro, for me, they've been outstanding this season, so...
#MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Soweto Live at the same time.
#MSW. What would you say to your boss if you won a payout of up to 75 million rand? Well, with Lotto Star, you could change your destiny forever with over 650 thrilling games to bet on. You could be an instant multi-millionaire with payouts of up to 75 million rand. Bet now on lottostar.co.za. Your world of live games. Lotto Star is licensed by the Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. No under 18. NRGP 0800 006 008. T's and C's apply. All games are fixed odds betting events.
Gogo steps up to the ring. She's pumped and ready to go. Facing down her toughest opponent yet. Wi-Fi. Her family has trained her for this moment. Gogo makes the first move and Wi-Fi surrenders. The match is over.
Gogo, that was amazing. How did you do it?
Lula, I used AfriHost. With their easy sign-up process and simple payment methods like EasyPay and PayFast, Wi-Fi doesn't have to be a fight.
AfriHost, ukonwaba, Lula.
In today's digital era, internet and broadband data services are essential for consumers and businesses to thrive. Zaltec Telecoms is at the forefront of providing innovative solutions to transform traditional businesses and homes into fully connected digital environments, offering a range of tailored telecommunication services, including fiber, as well as solar power and green energy solutions. Visit zaltectelecoms.co.za to unlock a world of connectivity.
Good health starts on the inside. Biogen Multivitamin Plus offers a comprehensive vitamin and mineral supplement designed to support daily energy and immunity, boost mental performance, and combat stress. Available in senior 50 plus and children's gummies too. You can have the whole family covered. Biogen, for the results you want. Visit biogen.co.za to find out how you can get up to 15% off Biogen products with Virgin Active.
Here comes that mood again. That mood to hear some breaking news for the 12th time in a row. Are you sitting down? Because Macro has been voted as the cheapest basket in SA by the Outliers Cheapest Basket Survey again. It's probably best to remain seated because our money would be on us getting it again and again. We suggest you put your money on us too because it'll be money well saved. If you've ever felt like that, then someone's in a Macro mood.
Before you sell your car, be really sure. Before you drive too far, be really sure. Be really sure. Be really sure. Before you settle for less, and it feels like too much stress. Before you sell your car, be really sure. Be really sure.
Get multiple offers and the best cash price when selling your car. Go to wheelie.co.za or the new Midstream Megastore for the best offer and instant payment.
Previously on Marawa Sports Worldwide.
Siyabonga Ngezane, Romanian Liga winner.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate you on winning your league title in Romania and being a patriotic servant of the country and displaying and raising our flag high that side where you continue representing Val.
Proud people from the Val.
Actually, Mr. Marawa, you know, but to raise a child, like, it takes a village. Actually, I'll say, like, it's my people from home, way back home, Ekaya, and my family has played a big part, you know, in terms of support and their prayers.
#MSW. #MSW.
I think the reason why we got all of these experts is to break away from some of the myths here. So May's tweet saying that as much as I'm supporting Ronwin, I can't help but think that most of us are judging him based on Bafana Bafana heroics. He has done well, but maybe the Sundowns defense protected him significantly. Are they stats as to how many saves he has made? And I think that's where Opta Jabu came in, dished out the stats, dished out the facts. We can't argue with that, guys.
Good evening, Rob. My PSL Awards recipients are as follows. Goalkeeper of the season, Ronwen Williams. Defender of the season, Mutobi Mvala. But amongst the nominees, I will add Malebogo Mudise from Chipa United, considering how he has been a great revelation in that team, particularly in the defense of Chipa United. He has been very solid. Midfielder of the season, Tebogo Mokoena, and footballer of the season, it will be Ronwen Williams, and Players Player of the Season, Rele Mofokeng, and Young Player of the Season, Jaden Adams. And thank you so much. Those are my nominations.
Hey. Tebogo, thank you so much indeed. I love that. And I can see, with the corner of my eye, Nick said there's got a bit of a smile. Opta Jabu's got a smile. He's got a wide smile here in studio. Mthokozisi Dube. Let's hear more from you.
Hi, Tarop Shapu Zhang. For me, the football of the season, guys, I think we can give it to Jaden Adams. I mean, that boy has come of age. He's consistent. He was moved from that position to the position he's playing now. So I think the maturity is there. And the coach of the season, if football will be fair, Steve Barker will have it. But yeah, it's my opinion. Sure.
Oh man, guys, please brace yourselves. I was going to go to the Young Player of the Year award, but I think let me start off with one, which I want to get out very quickly, which is the coach of the season. I think the previous voice note edging me towards that. So brace yourself, guys. When I come to you in just a second, prepare for the coach of the season.
Good evening, Marawa. It's Marawa. On the player of the season, I would go for Maswanganyi of Pirates or Teoho Mkwena of Orlando Pirates. Thanks, Ms. Marawa. Edgar from Pulugan.
Edgar, thank you so much indeed. Hey, bring in Patrick Maswanganyi. Interesting what Coach Rulani Mkwena had to say. He says, he commends, those were his words. He says he commends the contribution of Patrick Maswanganyi.
Good evening, Bra Robert. This is Voisila from Philippi, but originally from Ekona, Eastern Cape. If we are to talk about the footballer of the season, the player of the season, we cannot discuss any other name but Ronwen Williams. Bra Rob, that man has been consistent throughout the season. If you look at the number of clean sheets that guy has throughout the season, if you look at his consistency, if you look at the crucial saves that man he has made throughout the season, for me, I think there's no one come close to him when it comes to being a footballer and also the player of the season. There's no other man or other player that I can think of that comes close to Ronwen Williams this season.
Unanimous there in many fronts. Nick said, let me prepare to come to you so you can unmute so that we can have a nice, beautiful, clean feed on you. Let me touch on the coach of the season. Is there a doubt? Stevie B, the heroics that he has performed this season could win him this award any day. But then you say, okay, the same. If Sundowns go unbeaten the whole season, they get to their 71 points, for example, then how do you then deny that man? I don't know. Where do you start?
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there, Rob, in that I can see why people are making an argument for Steve Barker, and it probably would be fully deserved if we're being honest, what he's done with that very young Stellenbosch team, despite having to sell, some of his top players every season for the last few seasons, is quite remarkable. And I think he's knitted them together. They've obviously gone through some tragedy as well this season, but he's held everything together. He's very much the patriarch of that team, and I think he garners a lot of respect. But if you talk about Rulani Mokwena and Sundowns, likely to break numerous records this year, likely to go unbeaten, we'll see, but could well go through unbeaten. How do you deny that? Putting on top of that the fact that obviously they've competed in all the domestic competitions, the African Football League, the CAF Champions League, and the complexities that has brought to their league campaign as well, their DSTV Premiership campaign. So I get the call for Barker, but for me it's still Mokwena.
All right, Nick said. Rulani Mokwena, I'm going to ask you to mute there. Opta Jabu, let me get to you. You might help us here. You might have different data and analytics. I don't know. Over to you, coach of the season.
Thanks, Rob. I think for coach of the season, funny enough, Sundowns play Stellenbosch this weekend, and maybe that could have a bearing into which way it goes between Barker and Rulani Mokwena. But I would have to go a bit with Nick here. The records that Sundowns have broken this season, while it's hard to pin them on a single player because they are both defensive records and attacking records, you have to give credit to the coach and what he's done. 51 games unbeaten now in the league since last season, and they're about to break the points record, they're about to break the wins record, they're about to break the goal difference record, they're about to break the record for the gap between first and second, the record for the gap between first and 16th. All of that, it might be broken in the next 2 weeks. So if those happen, or if a couple of them happen, I would swing it towards the Sundowns coach as well.
Is the gap big? How big? I mean, number 1 and number 2.
The record is 16 points, Rob.
Yeah.
And at present moment, I think it is it 14? And Sundowns have a couple of games in hand. So it could definitely become bigger than that. In fact, at the moment, it's 19 points already. And Sundowns have a game in hand on the rival. So effectively, that could be 22 points when the previous record was 16.
Yeah. Opta Jabo. This is amazing, guys. I mean, I'm loving the music of just the stats and the facts. And we bring no emotion. And that is what I wanted to do with this conversation, is that we leave emotion. There'll be an emotional side of things, and people get emotional. We understand that. But let's leave that aside. Do you have any arguments? There's 2 that are going for Rulani Mokoena, again, based on pure facts.
Based on the stats, I mean, there's no arguing. I mean, going 51 league games unbeaten, that's no mean feat. I mean, there's a 0 on the L there on Sundowns. We've not seen it. Yeah. Where do you see it in the world? So, look, I would agree with Nick and Opta.
But, I mean, you're close to the action here, so I'm not going to ask, Nick is all the way in Cape Town. We've had, and I've found it to be very unfortunate, to have had post-COVID the awards not being live. So it's almost like you're relying every day on Zoom meetings, you're relying every day on this. This is a celebration. This is a record for Sundowns or any other team that would have won the league. Are we likely to go back to the celebration, the PSL awards, back to their traditional form, literally 2 kilometers down from where we are, Sandton Convention Center? Let the people celebrate. Let us watch it on TV. Players on stage celebrating, getting the medals, getting the trophy, and whoever else gets to win gets a chance to talk. Player of the season gets a chance to talk. Referee of the season, all of those things. Are we likely to get that? Have they made an announcement about that?
Look, there's been no announcement, but from where we are, I mean, we've had this conversation before. From where we are, we are praying. I mean, it would be nice to have it live. I mean, COVID is long gone. We're going to the stadium. Surely we can gather and celebrate. Footballers have been outstanding. So hopefully this year we'll go back to the traditional way where we actually gather and get this.
I think it'll be very sad. It'll be very, very sad. We saw the pictures yesterday, and I know these were club awards of, Aston Villa. They were club awards while they were getting the news that they're going to be playing in Europe. And when you see their coach celebrating, and that's what it means to have physical awards. You can't be having them via Zoom. Let me take Tsepo joining us from Soweto. Good evening.
Evening, Mara. How are you?
I'm very good. Do you want to throw in a couple of spanners in this work? Hey, go ahead.
Yeah. My coach of the season, Rulani Mokoena. My defender of the season, Thabo Moloisane. My player of the season, Ikram Reyners. Footballer of the season, Tito Masangai. Midfield of the season, Tito Masangai. Young player of the season, Kilebogile Mufukeng. Then, unfortunately, the striker one will probably go to Tsegofazo Mabaso as he currently is.
You mean the Golden Boot winner?
Yeah, the Golden Boot winner, yeah. But I think I said, most of them, yeah.
Yeah. Tell me, though, Tsepo, out of sheer interest, right? What team do you support?
Me, the team that I support, I'm supporting Kaizer Chiefs.
You're a Chiefs supporter?
Yes.
Are you sure? Are you dribbling me here?
Yes.
Are you doing me Medendop?
No, I'm not doing a Medendop.
Yeah, no, Mthokozisi doesn't believe you. Who do you think he supports?
No, he's a Pirate supporter.
All right, bye-bye, Tsepo. Let me go back. Mthogo, I'll come to you last. Let me take Opta first. Opta Jabo. Young player of the season. Many factors come into play here. I don't want to bring them to the table. You help me. You lead with this one. Mthogo led first, and then Nick led first. You leading with this final one. Young player of the year.
So for young player of the year, Rob, I believe there's been a criteria change. It used to be under 23 years old, and now it's under 21. So we're looking at a player like, let's say, Rebohile Mofokeng from Orlando Pirates. I think he's been one of the best players at Orlando Pirates itself, and he's only he's less than 21 years old. So that's my nomination for that. He has, and this is one of those stats which can tell a story, but can also can be insightful in terms of performance. 105 touches in the opposition box, fourth in the entire league this season, but also he's up there for chances created. He's in the top 20 with 20 chances created for a young player. I think that's very impressive.
Sure. So you said your final winner is who? Mofokeng. All right. Love that. Opta Jabu, please stay on, but if I don't come back to you, I thank you. Don't make this the last time, but stay on the line. I want to do a quick wrap around again. I'm going to ask Nick Said to just unmute himself, come back on the line. I need to take his thoughts about that. You've heard what Opta Jabu said, Nick. What is your take?
Yeah, again, I have to agree. I'm agreeing with everyone tonight, but I think that the age change does limit it down quite a bit. We haven't had all that many players age 21 or under who've excelled this season. There have been a few. But I think Mofokeng's been outstanding. I think it's in the league, it's 3 goals, I think 5 assists. Really, for a 19-year-old, he's kind of just taken on the responsibility of playing in a massive club like Orlando Pirates, where the expectations are so high. I actually watched him Cape Town City against Orlando Pirates the other day, and he had me on the edge of my seat every time he got the ball. There's something really exciting about the way he plays, about his ambition, about his confidence. I think he's been wonderful, and for me, he is my pick too.
I'm going to call on your guidance maybe just before the end of the season, Nick. In the same way I said to Opta Joe, if I don't come back to you, I appreciate you being on this panel. I know how much you've been following the game for years, and we rely on you a hell of a lot because objectivity is what we're trying to promote here. So do stay on, but if I don't come back to you, just know that right here on hashtag MSW, we do appreciate your contribution.
Thank you.
All right, Mthogo, you've heard. It goes again. It's a majority rule by the time it gets to you. Do you differ in any way?
No, not even. Look, I would have thought of Chandra Campbell, but when I look at what Mofokeng has done, keeps reminding me of what Jose Rivero said. He said, young players don't play because they are young. They play because they deserve to be in that team. So that boy plays because he deserved to be in the starting lineup of Orlando Pirates.
What did Campbell do wrong? He started off like a house on fire, was highly destructive. I was even disappointed that he didn't make the squad to the AFCON, but something somewhere kind of fell off.
He didn't do anything wrong. Mofokeng has been a cut above the rest. He's been a cut above the rest, man. I mean, to start 24 games in the DStv Premiership for a team like Orlando Pirates, star-studded, that must tell you the boy he's been exceptional.
I think what's been exceptional is the quality of this conversation. I wanted to touch on the issue of the Man of the Match awards, because sometimes people believe in the Man of the Match awards, but I know some of the coaches have discounted that. They've said there is no need, there's no point. We don't know who's even, making these nominations, who's even selecting. I always remember the famous interview that one had with Peter Msimane asking who's the people here that are choosing this Man of the Match award. And it goes down to that. And I'm sure everyone says that because they know how many Patrick Maswanganyi has been able to win this season. It's a remarkable number but does that immediately and automatically equate something else? That I don't know. But all I know is that Mthokozisi Dube, we appreciate you, sir. Keep doing the great work.
Thank you so much, Rob.
You're not taking a bet on anything, right?
No.
Hashtag MSW live now on 947 Vuma FM, Rise FM, and Sowetan Live at the same time. Hashtag MSW.